On this episode of the podcast,
Hey guys, it's Jose, your co-host. I sound very unenthusiastic, not enthusiastic. It's unenthusiastic though, right? Somebody correct me on that. But I kinda am tired because I've been trying to read 150 pages of articles on my class. It's Crime and Punishment, by the way, in the summer. And it's just a lot of reading, so there's so much I can not do and work on the podcast, but it's just like I don't have my brain set particularly set for just one thing. I have it set for a lot of things, and then in order for me to therapeutically cleanse myself, I go to PlayStation 4 and play some type of video games. Mostly, I've been playing Call of Duty and 2K20 NBA, and just been playing with friends, so that keeps it more entertaining. But it's just so much I can do for that. Plus, I have to write like another paper, which is oh, on top of that, I have to read like 6 articles, and it's just like, bruh, can I just take a break this summer? Like, I wanted to take a break, but then COVID hit, so I'm not working and I'm just getting unemployment. So this unemployment stuff is kind of going mostly for the podcast and like for school and for electric bill and rent bill, helping my parents out. Like, oh man, this year is not going the year I thought it was gonna go for a lot of different reasons. I don't even think a lot of you guys. I mean, who saw this coming? I mean, China did November, December, but Anyways, we're not gonna get into politics right now. That's too early. It's too early for this podcast to get into politics and divide ourselves. But in this episode, I kind of wanted to just talk to you guys. Just wanted to see if you guys are relating to me or not. And Joey's gonna come into this podcast too, a little bit. I'm gonna mix and match here because he can send me some files and I'll just edit it in and see how that's gonna go. I'm just doing this right now by myself. He'll chime in later, and you'll hear that in the podcast. But I wanted to talk to you. Well, like, I don't know what you guys been doing, but I've been rewatching like a lot of shows. Like, bruh. Okay, the main thing I've been rewatching is House. It took me like 2 or 3 months to rewatch it, only because I took my time with it. You know, like some days I'll see 2 to 3 episodes, other days I wouldn't see an episode. Just take my time with it. Don't binge watch everything because you get bored. It's a lot of like science stuff. It's a lot of doctorate stuff. It's never lupus, except for that one. That one particular episode, it was lupus. Before watching that lupus episode, because it's been like a while since I watched House, but I thought the person that had lupus passed away, but apparently when I rewatched that episode, they didn't pass away. So I was like, oh, I wonder why I got that mistaken. I could have sworn they passed away from lupus. Do you guys know what episode or show? I mean, what show they died from lupus? Maybe it was good. The Good Doctor. Maybe they died from lupus. I don't remember. I can't remember for the life of me. Um, then I haven't rewatched Psych. If you've been on our social medias, that's one of our favorite shows. And Psych just released their second movie, and I think it's the third movie though. I mean, they call it Psych 2, but I think the musical didn't count as a movie. So this means it's their second movie then. It is what it is. But their second movie, damn, I cried at the end. Like I had to I had to let some tears out because what happened in real life and what happened in that movie, it was just like I didn't want to say it's meant to be, but and it's just so sad because of what happened with Timothy. I'm gonna butcher his name. Timothy. I'm really bad with names. I told you guys from the beginning. I'm really, really bad with names. Like I can't could tell you probably how they look like or what movie they probably been in, but I'm then again like I'm bad with titles, so sue me on that. Timothy Adamson. You know what? Let me pause this for a minute. Hold up. It is Timothy Amundsen. I pronounce it weird. Sue me. You know, if you've been, wow, I can't speak. If you've been listening to us, then you know that like we pronounce some words very weird, and then we get it correctly later on. I've been hearing it myself, especially because I edit this podcast, and I've been hearing it on Joey, and then I've been hearing it on mine. So it's kind of on my end and his end. So like, I don't know if you guys been. I can't speak today. You know those days where you can't speak English, can't pronounce words. Yeah, I have those a lot. So yes, Timothy Odmanson had a stroke in the movie, and he gets shot in the movie. You get this in the trailer, but in real life though, he actually did have a stroke, and it intertwined with that script, and it's intertwined with his with his performance, and at the end it just broke my heart. Like you gotta watch the movie, you gotta watch the series, you just gotta understand where I'm coming from because his character is it's not hateful, it's not lovable, but it's something about him where you're just like I like him and I can't explain it why. It's like Red Foreman. He's kind of like the Red Foreman is in the show. Yep, that's the best way I could put it. He'll put a boot in your ass. Goddamn right. And I don't know. Well, for you fellow geeks, you guys probably been watching the San Diego Comic Con or been up to date with that, or it just passed. And there's only probably one panel that I could think of that I liked and I've been up to date with, and that's Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League on HBO, and it's gonna be released on HBO Max 2021. And he released a clip that I have already seen, and it's been in, it's been watched by many of those who have like like comic books, but it's particularly with Superman having the black suit and meeting Alfred. He comes in flying down and he has a black suit. And for those who do not know, the black suit that he wears is when he passes away in the death of Superman in the comics. He was given when when he came back, he came back with a black suit. It was mostly a recovery suit so he could regenerate his solar power from the sun and from the moon, and just regain his strength and abilities better. And it was mostly just placed by him by his robots on his Fortress of Solitude. but he finds it in the movie. We've seen a clip already. It's been passed by. He finds it in a ship that he finds in the first Man of Steel movie. I've been thinking on social media if I should like show my face, or me and Joey should show our faces, and kind of like promote the podcast, promote our social media platform, just promote us in general. And we kind of like wanted to ask a question, but this isn't like a question of who's your favorite superhero, who's your favorite, company that you would rather, or universe that you would rather live in, company that you would write for, art, do art for. This is more like a question of who are you, or what show defines you, what character kind of basically defines you as a person, uh, and or what particular character kind of defines you, or what exact moment have you changed for the better of yourself. Like I can think of one particular scene, which was when Peter Capaldi's last episode was, and his speech at the end, just like, you know what, you're right. Like hating somebody, hating an exact moment in your life just completely drains you. Like there's no point to it. Like why would you just stick to that one particular moment and just rethink it over and over? It's just like, you know what? No. Like I'm not going to let that define myself. I'm not going to let that ruin me. I'm just going to get over it. And you know what? I didn't get over, I mean, I got over it, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate that person. I learned to let go, and I understood to just, be at peace with it. Learn it, live it, love it, from Game Plan. Like that's basically it. So that's who I am right now. Like that's why I don't get angry. I don't yell. I'm more like I'm also not an accepting person. Like I have to question it. I have to logically think about it. Be curious in all matters, but that's who the doctor showed me to be. Like you learn a lot of things from particular characters if you're a geek, or if you follow something like a novella, if you follow something on soap opera. Two different things. If you follow something, even oh, I'm gonna hate saying this, but if you follow something on reality TV shows, like if that makes you a better person, good for you, bro. Good for you, or good for you, sis. Like good for you, guy. Yeah, I'm gonna say guy. Good for you, my guy. Like it's better to learn something and be better as a person than to watch something and learn nothing from it. I've watched people like do this, and I guess, and I'm a young guy, but I've seen 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds like kind of act the way that a teenager or a few years ago myself would have done. Acted like, or thought like, wouldn't really logically think like that, and logically act the way that one should, and say that they love something like a franchise and not learn anything from it. Like people watch Star Wars and believe that the Jedi way is a religiously, it's become a religion to them, and that's actual religion. Like that's a thing. Not lying. Like that's a thing. Google it yourself. But if it makes you be a better person, honestly, I'm all for it. That's why I've been doing something therapeutic. Like I've been doing ever since I've seen that scene, I've been trying to do better myself. Been trying to go to the gym, Sadly, COVID-19 took that away from me, and I don't have a house to build a gym. I have an apartment, and it's not big enough for, weights, to do squats, to do bench press, to do any of those things, man. Those are the two core elements, I believe, that it just makes you a better gym rat, is squats and bench. Can't think of something else. Oh, back. But doing something therapeutic just helps, or talking to somebody just helps, relieve your stress levels. Ranting helps. Like, I've ranted and it just helps me calm down. To people, and they rant after that. Like, they ran after me, and I let them go first, and then I get to rant. Like, do that with a friend. Talk to somebody. Literally, just go out and chill and just talk about life and talk to the things that bother you. It's how me and Joey like stayed connected. Like, we ranted to each other about life, about what was going on and what pissed us off and what was like, a talking point where it was like, that person's stupid, or that person just doesn't make any sense. Like, what the hell is going on with them? You know what I mean? Like, if you can hear this, then like, yeah, you're probably one of those people that whisper because, you just don't want to let the other person know because you're probably working with them, or that you're probably around them and you don't want to tell them it straight to their face. I've been one of those people too, but I'm just trying to be nice and be just be tolerant because I'm a nice. Silent Bob. No. Silent. No, Silent Bob, right? Silent Rob, Silent Bob. I've never watched Clerks or Mallrats, but I've only watched Dogma from oh my god, what's his name? I'm telling you, I'm really bad with names. Yeah, it is Silent Bob. Yeah. Yeah, it's Silent Bob and Jay. But who writes it? Who directs it? What's his name? Adam Smith. No, not Adam Smith. Is it Adam Smith? Oh my god. I can picture I can picture him, his face, and I can picture the hockey thing that he wears for Batman. Like, I can picture him, bro. I'm telling you guys, I'm really bad with names. It's Silent Bob and Jay. And I can't remember the guy's actual name. Kevin Smith. Oh my god. What did I say before? I don't even know what I said before, but Jesus Christ. You see? If you could relate to me, just let me know. Like, I'm just bad with names. I'm really bad with names. Bad with actors' names and I'm just bad with names in general. Gotta give me like a few days, but even then, I mean, come on. I've been knowing Kevin Smith since. Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. You can tell me please. I think I watched Comic Book Men, so that's where I know him from. And then I've learned that he did like movies, and then he directed a couple shows, not like for long, but like a couple episodes for shows, for some shows. Directed movies, been part of like the writing team. Did a comic book. Now I know about him. I just, like I said, I'm really bad with names, but I can like picture them and like where I remember them from. Like, I couldn't remember Angelina Jolie for the life of me, but I can remember her as a oh my god. I can't with you guys. You see, this is where I'm lost. I don't remember where Angelina Jolie in the movie. Oh, Tomb Raider. There you go. Tomb Raider. I had it in my top of, yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. It's Tomb Raider. It's Tomb Raider. So listen, after this episode, I'm pretty sure if you do follow me on social media, I'm gonna have to be on camera and just tell me how I'm doing. It's like, drop a comment. Just, I mean, you could hate. I don't mind. Give me criticisms. I'd rather take criticisms over good or bad, or nothing that just makes me better. Like, if you can give me a constructive criticism of and break it down, like, that's what I want. I'm tired of reading articles, but I don't mind reading your comments because it just makes my life easier, and I can understand what you guys want, or understand like how I should talk. This is my first episode where I'm not, you know, I'm not kind of serious. I'm just talking to the mic and being myself, if that makes sense. Like, I've been trying to talk a certain way where I think I should talk, being kind of not being a fake enthusiastic person because I really wanted to talk about Red Sun and I wanted to talk about Blue Marvel. I wanted to talk about Stan the Man Lee, man, Stan the Man. I wanted to talk about the 80s. I love the 80s. I didn't want to live through them, but I love the 80s and what it came out of, like what came out of that. And the people that came out of that, and the people that, put in a lot of work in the movies, put a lot of, thought in their music and the lyrics. She's a maniac. I'm not gonna sing, but like this is the first episode where I'm just myself, and I hope Joey is by him, like not by himself. That's sad. No, but just himself. Actually, I hope that you guys. I don't know. I feel like this is our first I'm treating this as the first meet. You know what? This is gonna be quarantine and coffee, and the subtitle of this episode is gonna be. No, just me kind of sounds boring, right? How about no? I don't even want to say real talk because no, like if you no people that use real talk like no, like I've seen like no, I'm not taking that. How about kicking it back? No, 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 no. How about okay, quarantine and coffee, the real us. Not real talk, real us. This isn't where, we're gonna write something down and just like, oh, okay, well, Superman in this episode or Superman in this comic acts this way. Like, no, this is us just talking. Like, this is what it was meant to be because we thought of the idea and this, like, just talk into the microphone, listen to one another, and just talk about, like, what we have been doing in the quarantine. Like, I told you I've been doing my schoolwork. I've been, easing out on hanging out with my girlfriend and playing video games late at night. And I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop playing video games late at night. Gotta start focusing on, social media and how to expand the podcast while also trying to work on my essays and such. And reading responses. Oh my god. This is one thing I thought of the other day. Like, if you're in elementary school, or if you were in elementary school, which I think most of you were, and you had to do reading responses. Did you hate doing reading responses? Like, if you ever, like, I couldn't do any more horrible Harrys. If you know about that, let me know. But if you, I couldn't do any more reading responses on Horrible Harry. Like, I couldn't. I didn't care for this. I don't care for anything I've been reading up to probably not even Lord of the Flies, maybe The Great Gatsby because I watched the movie. Like, I think I ever cared about reading a book after I watched the movie. Like, afterwards, I watched the movie. Like, that's the only time I actually cared about doing a reader response. Other than that, like, I hated doing reader responses. But now reading articles, you kind of like you have to think analytically and like, put your input into it. Put your input, what's your thoughts, what do you think is right, what do you think is wrong, the questions that they give you and such and such. But like, I don't know. I think that reading responses go a long way into college now because you're not summarizing, you're thinking at it analytically. So I think it's so much more important. Now, I think teachers have to come up with a different way of making a child do a reading response and not make it sound like a summary. Kind of like, what would you change? What do you think fits better? Uh, something small, but something cool too. Or how do you think? And you should encourage them to even use like a lot of kids have wild imaginations and like a lot of stuff that we do. us geeks do that are older. And I think teachers should input that, but teachers are not thinking about superheroes, not thinking about like all these other things that are popping up in movies and such, and TV shows and books and comics and this and that, video games. Like they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about politics stuff and making sure that kids read and making sure that they can read from A to B to C to D to F to X, Y, and Z. Like, but they don't really care about the book because they're not passionate, because that's what the school system puts in place instead of being creative as a teacher. But this is another story for another day, because I am not making sense to myself, even though I kind of think I am. But this is a rant. This is a rant. This is a rant. See, I would put like something like that. Like ask the kids what they like, what they don't like. Like I'm not gonna make you read something you don't want to read. No, it's not who I am. It's not who I think you should be reading. What you should be reading.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our first segment called Quarantine and Podcasting. I spoke to Jose about this, and I told him, hey, while we're writing our episodes, why don't we do a segment called Quarantine and Podcasting? It could be done for Wednesdays or Thursdays, so, we kind of fill in some of the gaps in the episode so we could keep people listening. And he said, that sounds good. We haven't been able to really talk one-on-one on these conversations. He records his episode, or he records his what he's written, and I record what I wrote, and then we put it together. Well, he puts it together. He does the editing, like I said. He does the music. He's the one who pretty much puts it out there and all the social media to keep us live. And he's been doing a hell of a good job. And, sometimes I feel like I'm kind of letting him down because we're not really connecting as well. We're not talking one to one. We did this, the Star Wars episode, which went almost an hour past, and because we were just talking about Star Wars. And we could have done that in 2 parts. But we did it in 1 part, and it was probably one of our longest episodes, and we kind of want to do that again. We want to get used to having conversations about, the stuff we hear online, on social media. It's been really difficult to even keep up with most of the social media because, to be honest, there's really none of it. They're still pretty much working on what they're going to do for the MCU. They're still Zack Snyder is working on for his director's cut of the Justice League, which I am waiting for. They said it's almost like a brisk 3 hours, but he's still trying to debate whether he wants to do it. They was said there was a rumor saying that he might do it in episodes, which I don't know about that. They should just keep it as a movie. I hope you guys are keeping safe. It's been a crazy couple of months. And hope you guys have been keeping occupied. I've been keeping occupied since, they laid me off my job. I've been ordering graphic novels on Amazon and constantly getting the books shipped. I ended up ordering all 11 volumes of The Sandman. I ended up ordering 3 volumes of American Gods. And in comic book form, didn't order the novel, even though it's a huge book and really don't have time to read that. So I'd rather have bought it in a graphic novel. Plus the artwork is spot on, fantastic. Also been working. I'm back at work, even though I got laid off. Then I ended up getting a job like 7 days later. Also living with my son, who's about 14 years old and into video games and into making music. He's been doing pretty well. He With everything that has happened in his life and in mine's, he's been upbeat. he kind of gives me the motivation to get up in the morning pretty much and keep walking and keep getting to my destination, keep moving me forward because, you know, just let's just say he keeps me sane. And we've been talking about music and we've been watching shows together. We started watching the second season of Seven Deadly Sins on Netflix. It's a great anime. Um, it's little. It's meant for much older teens, but I've been having my son watch the show before he even turned 13, and we both enjoy it. It's a good show. Um, Also, it's been tough because I'm helping out with remote learning. Um, he has summer school. Um, the crazy thing is, he also graduated, and I told him I was going to put him in summer school, and I've been helping him with that. I don't know what they're planning to do when he returns to school, but I don't think it's going to happen in September. But I hope he keeps doing the remote learning, and he's been doing pretty well. And he's also been writing. He's been writing stories about Minecraft, fan fiction stories of his own. He created characters like Kyle and David. It's funny, and I actually enjoyed reading it because it makes me see how much he has grown for over the 14 years, you know. And I don't know, has inspired me to keep on writing for this podcast. And every time I see him, I see how I was when I was small. And he has all these things, and he's very creative. He makes his own music. He ends up remixing music from like 8-bit Mario songs or 8-bit Sonic songs or Mega Man. He did Legend of Zelda recently, and and he's been working on a lot of stuff. He's I wouldn't mind using most of his music, but I'm pretty sure most of the music that he's playing are samples from other people's music, so can't really add it to the podcast, and unless he makes something original. Um, but he's been good, and we're both living together in a so-called room, and right now it's hard kind of looking for a place because there's really no way of looking for a place without having to check it out before moving in, because they're doing virtual tours, and that's a little bit just it just doesn't make any sense to me. But with the quarantine and all, I understand. um there's so much to say. Working on episodes as well. I've been writing for There's been 3 episodes that I've been thinking about doing a chapter 1, chapter 2 it episode. Not only talk about the movie or what happens to the movie, but sort of relate to the books and the 1990 TV adaptation of it, and also talk about Stephen King's inspiration on creating the clown. Um, Last year around my birthday, my girl I went to a trip to Maine where she took me, and we did a Stephen King tour where we were driven around Bangor, Maine, where he lived. We even got to see his place, how beautiful and huge it is, and we got to see the areas where he was inspired to write these characters. So some of it is going to be placed in the podcast episode. Also, I've been thinking about an episode of 80s horror because of the 80s episode that I did. Now, it wasn't much of an episode where we talked about all the 80s movies and TV shows and cartoons, but but we'll get there. It's going to be an 80s horror episode. We'll be talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, during that time, Stephen King was coming out with every single Stephen King book to movie during that time, like Dead Zone and Pet Cemetery and Carrie and all these episodes. So all these movies. So we'll be getting there soon. And also retro gaming. I was thinking about a certain game that came out centuries ago. Not centuries, I'm overreacting, but it's a game that I love so much, and I think it's why I want to do the episode. It's not to say that I'm doing this for the fans and maybe they're fans of this game, but I'm also doing it because I'm a fan of this game. And if you guys ever heard of Legacy of Kain, then you guys, should wait to hear that episode, because I'm going to try to get through that from Legacy of Kain Blood Omen all the way to Legacy of Kain Defiance and work my way through. It's going to be probably a long 2-part episode. Who knows? Because it was a great series. And hopefully we will keep on coming up with more episodes. I just hope you guys are listening or follow us. We're not perfect. We're trying our best to do this. This was something that we were doing together. And hopefully we'll get to it. We'll get to what we really want to do. And so far with this quarantine, it's been a little bit difficult. And, I'm limited. Jose has pretty much everything that he has at this moment, but I'm a bit limited. No internet access. I have to use my hotspot to send him the recordings while he edits it, and he sends it off. So I hope you guys keep listening. I love you guys, and just keep listening and enjoy our episodes. Just enjoy our episodes. Bye.
Hey geeks, if you want to hear more from us, check us out on our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Subscribe, like, or follow on any of the social networks mentioned, or on Spotify, iTunes, and Stitcher. We love to do what we do and hope you enjoy what we do. Just remember, Geek Mythos Podcast.